You have 2 5s, and temperance reduces down to a 5 as well. And those speak of change, as well as the wheel speaks of change. What is going on? Somebody wasn't able to tame the beast. I don't feel like they wanted to tame the beast, though. Tell me about strength for Sagittarius. Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. I don't know why all my cards are falling on the floor today. Alright, 2 of Swords, Queen of Cups reversed, Knight of Swords reversed. Somebody wasn't able to open up because they didn't trust this person. Or they did trust this person, but this person wasn't trustworthy. Somebody trusted the wrong person here. Tell me about the Emperor. You have the 8 of Pentacles and the Queen of Pentacles reversed. So there's 2 queens here with the 7 of Swords. Just saying, there could have been another person. There could have been a third party here. And somebody got left out in the cold. Both these queens are reversed, so I don't know who it would have been. Tell me about the 5 of Coins. Page of Swords. Whoever was left out in the cold is still spying. 5 of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. Or whoever was left out in the cold is still trying to communicate with the other person. So whoever was left out in the cold could have been ghosted, blocked, whatever. And now they're still trying to figure out a way to communicate with this person. I don't know why. Tell me about the Page of Swords. Why are they trying to communicate still? Knight of Pentacles. Because they saw a future with this person. 7 of Swords again at the bottom of the deck. Ugh. I feel like this happened before, though. You have the 6 of Cups reversed underneath the 7 of Swords. This isn't the first time that this happened. Tell me about Temperance. Tell me about Temperance. Clarify Temperance. 6 of Swords reversed. 10 of Cups reversed. There's somebody here who has commitment issues, and that's probably the person who's cheating. Maybe they're not actually cheating. Maybe they just keep bouncing between these queens. But anytime something gets too serious, they ghost one of them queens and go to the other one. I don't like this at all. Tell me about the Fool. 6 of Pentacles. Somebody's being foolish. Somebody is giving to 2 people. Anytime one commitment starts getting too serious, they'll ghost that person and go to the other one, and it's between a Queen of Cups and a Queen of Pentacles. So somebody who has money and somebody who's very intuitive, someone who is in tune with their emotions. You have the World at the bottom of the deck, so somebody is closing out this cycle. I don't know who it is. I don't know if it's one of the queens or if it's the Emperor. Tell me about the Four of Cups. Nine of Cups. Whoever's closing this out is going towards wish fulfillment, is moving on. They realize that this situation is never going to improve. They're wisening up a little bit. Tell me about the Five of Swords. For Sagittarius. Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. The Hanged Man reversed. You've gained you've looked at things a different way. And now you're no longer feeling like you missed out on something if you just leave this person behind. Because you realize that they were just playing you. I don't think there was any real emotions here. Tell me about the Wheel. What change is coming for Sag? You're letting go of regret. You already put in whatever effort you needed to put in for this love triangle. And now you're moving on. You probably said to this person, let's give this one last try. But if you can't commit, if you can't be a little more in touch with your emotions, if you can't make this work with me, then I'm going to move on, and I'm not going to have any regrets about moving on. Two of Wands at the bottom of the deck. Making a decision here, choosing a different path. Tell me about this Nine of Cups. What is this wish fulfillment? For Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. What is this wish fulfillment? Six of Cups, the Magician reversed. You're trying to manifest your true, I don't want to say true soulmate because everyone technically is your true soulmate, but you're trying to manifest like your life partner, the person that you're supposed to spend the rest of your life with. But with the Magician reversed, you might not think it is who it is. Like, you might think it's somebody else. You'll manifest it, but it's not going to be exactly what you think it'll be. So keep an open mind. Let me get you some final advice. Final advice for Sagittarius for April 3rd through the 10th. Final advice for Sagittarius. The Moon. What is the Moon in this one? Progress, personal growth, solitude. So your best advice right now is to work on yourself right now. Not focus on a soulmate. Focus on what you need to do to better yourself, for yourself and not for anybody else. And with the moon, that's also like the unknown. So whenever this soulmate comes in, keep an open mind. It might not be who you think it'll be. It might be somebody completely different. So I feel like you're working through your insecurities at this time. You have the Ten of Cups and the Empress. Could be working through some insecurities within a relationship. Could be dealing with a Taurus or a Libra. Bottom of the deck, you have the Sun. Again, could be dealing with a Leo or an Aries. And then you have Three of Wands and the Five of Wands. Let me flip this around for you. Or it's definitely insecurities that I'm feeling, but the insecurities don't necessarily mean that, or aren't necessarily insecurities about a relationship. They could also be insecurities about work. Not feeling like you're adequate enough for the job, possibly. Or not being able to keep up with the workload. Alright. Make sure you can see all those cards. I do think it's more so about a relationship, or possibly not feeling like you are being the best mother that you can be to your children. Maybe your kids are fighting, or you're fighting with your kids, and the house is a mess, and you feel like you just can't keep up, and you just need, space for yourself. And just because of that, I feel like you feel like you're not adequate enough, which I hope you eventually see that every single mother on this planet doesn't have their shit together. God knows I don't. So, tell me about this King of Coins for Sagittarius. Clarify the King of Coins. The Queen of Coins. So, you're wanting to... This could be for single mothers, feeling like you have to take on the role of both mom and dad, and it's becoming too much of a load for you, and you're feeling like you're not being the mother that you could be because you have to take on the mother and the father role. If that's not the case, maybe you feel like the kid's dad could help out more. If this doesn't have to do with kids, just feeling insecure in a relationship, feeling like maybe your partner isn't as attracted to you as they were in the beginning. Tell me about strength. Tell me about strength. Why is strength here for Sagittarius? The Lover's reversed. So this is arguments, quarrels, I don't feel like this is a breakup, but there's definitely some fighting going on in the household. You had the Five of Swords and the Five of Wands. So either you're fighting with your partner about the kids, or you're fighting with them about, not feeling secure enough. This person maybe isn't making you feel secure enough, but that's not really their job, but that's something that you need to work on your own. Tell me about the Queen of Wands. Why is the Queen of Wands insecure? Why is Sagittarius feeling insecure? Eight of Wands. So you could have gotten a message, or maybe you were reading your boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife's messages on their phone, and you found something you didn't want to see. Tell me about the Eight of Wands. Clarify the Eight of Wands. for Sagittarius. Five of Wands. Or you have the Five of Wands twice. Or this is just you and your partner fighting. Not necessarily that they were messaging other people, but this could just be you delivering a conflictive message to them or them delivering a conflictive message to you. Either way, I feel like this is fighting in a relationship. Tell me about the Ten of Cups. The High Priestess. Why is the High Priestess here? Ooh. Some of you Sagittariuses could be dealing with somebody, boyfriend or girlfriend, who is leading a double life, who has a secret family with somebody else. Or you could have maybe found out that they had children with somebody else, and for whatever reason they weren't telling you, or they maybe just found out. Tell me about the High Priestess. So you got King of Cups and the Six of Swords with the High Priestess. Whatever the secret is, or if you feel like there's secrets, if there are secrets, I feel like this person's going to open up about it, and you're both going to get through this together. I feel like there's going to need to be a little compromising on both ends. But you know, if you did find out that this person that you're with has children with somebody else, I feel like it's going to, like, it's not going to be as big of an issue. I feel like the only issue is right now is that you feel like there's secrets. But if this person would just come out with it, things would be fine. Tell me about the Hermit. Why is the Hermit here for Sagittarius? I thought I saw one flip. I guess not. Tell me about the Hermit. Why is the Hermit here? Clarify the Hermit. So you have Queen of Swords. Tell me about the Queen of Swords. Ooh. So you could be isolating yourself because of these insecurities, or this Queen of Wands reverse could be that you're kind of being a bitch, or, you know, kind of coming off abrasive. But I feel like you're going to take the time that you need to really soul search and think about this logically and figure out the right way to get through this, which is why I see the Six of Swords as you guys getting through this together. Tell me about the Empress. Why is the Empress here? Four of Cups, Page of Wands, Seven of Swords. So this person probably cheated. You have Ace of Swords at the bottom of the deck. So I didn't mean to slam that down. What the hell? But this person probably probably cheated on you at one point. I don't feel like this is fresh energy, but you are possibly just finding out about this at one point in your relationship, some point in the past. They were slightly bored with the relationship and decided to, instead of, you know, telling you and spicing things up in the relationship, they decided to go find somebody else to do this with, which is what I'm seeing with this Page of Wands and the Seven of Swords. And because of that, they possibly got somebody pregnant. And now you're just finding out about it, and you're pissed off because this person cheated, but I feel like you two are both going to work through this together because you see children as a blessing, probably because you see that, you know, this is something in the past and it can be worked through, and just adding a child to the mix doesn't necessarily make things, what's the word I'm thinking of, like, it doesn't make things, it doesn't like finalize things with you guys. It doesn't make things so that you can't come back from this. If you feel like this person's deception is in the past, or player ways, or, you know, if you feel like they're going to be loyal to you now, which I do see, having somebody else's child be in the family now doesn't really make things over to you. Tell me about the Five of Wands. Five of Wands. Why is the Five of Wands here? Clarify the Five of Wands. Three of Coins reversed. So this person more than likely cheated. There was a possible, well, I'm not going to say possible, there was most definitely a third party situation here, and I feel like somebody got pregnant, but you're both working through this together. You're both coming back from this. This person possibly, you know, came out to you and apologized, and, you know, you probably used your intuition and believe that this person is remorseful for what they've done. That's really the only way I can see this right now. It could be that this person cheated and not necessarily got someone pregnant, but decided to go have emotional fulfillment with somebody else, to go start making a relationship with somebody else. But with the Page of Cups and the Empress, I do feel like somebody got pregnant here, and you're gonna have to start raising somebody else's child, or help raise somebody else's child with your partner. So let me get best advice for Sagittarius for April 10th through the 17th. Best advice for Sagittarius. So you have card 34. And all I can see is children's toys. But let's see. Breaking free, chasing a dream. A horse is the projection of people's dreams about themselves. Strong, powerful, beautiful, and it has the capability of giving us escape from our mundane existence. Finally breaking free, a real horse embodying a true inner spirit escapes from the carnival shell, which represented his existence up to this point. The constant repetition finally ends as he soars through his glass confinement. His escape and transformation is witnessed with awe and incredulity, but also with envy by those he leaves behind. This card represents the numbing routine of daily life, for example, the mindless repetition of the morning commute. What might be comforting familiarity to some can become claustrophobic, choking of our inner spirit. We occasionally escape through dreams of what might be, but at some point we may act upon them to the amazement of others. So I'm kind of seeing this a different way now. I do see this more as somebody got bored with the relationship and decided to go follow their emotional fulfillment with somebody else. Now that I got this card, or this is saying, don't be afraid to follow your dreams, because this is your final advice. This is your advice, not anybody else's. So if you're feeling like tied down to this situation at all, and you don't have to be, like, this is somebody else's child, not necessarily your responsibility, now would be the time to like start going off and following the dreams that you felt like you couldn't be before because of this situation or because of your partner.